In a town where nothing ever changes and secrets echo louder than truth, one woman's disappearance would fracture a quiet community forever. Her name was Clara Jennings, 28 years old, a kindergarten teacher, with a laugh like spring rain and a heart full of hope. She was engaged to Marcus Reed, the town's golden boy, a man who promised her forever. But forever never came. On March 16, 2019, Clara was seen for the very last time. Surveillance footage from a late-night diner showed her sitting across from Marcus. Their body language was strained. She was wiping tears. He leaned in. She pulled away. Minutes later, Clara stormed out. Marcus followed 3 minutes after. And that was it. Clara Jennings disappeared into the night like fog over the hills. Gone, without a trace. When she didn't show up for school Monday morning, her co-workers knew something was wrong. Clara was the kind of person who showed up early, with coffee for everyone, rain or shine. Calls went unanswered, texts undelivered. And when police questioned Marcus, his story was simple. She walked out. She was upset. She said she needed space. He went home. He thought she needed time. But Marcus's phone told a different story. GPS data showed no detours, no searching, just a straight drive home, and silence. And then came the messages, dozens of them, from Clara to a close friend. Messages like, "He scared me last night. I don't know what to do," and "Promise me you'll check on me if I go quiet." Then came the scarf, torn, found in the woods 5 days later, along with her engagement ring, and blood. Forensics confirmed it was Clara's. But still no body, no tracks, no signs of struggle, just silence. The town turned its gaze to Marcus. But just as pressure mounted, the investigation twisted. Detectives uncovered a second phone hidden in Clara's car. A burner. On it, dozens of intimate messages to a man named James Holloway. Her neighbor, recently divorced, quiet, invisible. Clara and James had been exchanging messages for months. Flirty, emotional, and some fearful. She wrote, "I'm scared of what he'll do if he finds out. And I think he knows." Police brought James in. His story, Clara was supposed to meet him that night. She never showed. He stayed home, alone. No one could verify his alibi, but what he said next chilled the room. "She told me once, if anything happened to her, to check the old farmhouse." That farmhouse belonged to Marcus's uncle, long abandoned, isolated, hidden behind a curtain of pines. Police broke down the door. Inside, rot, decay, and horror. A mattress, stained, rusted restraints, and a charred phone with a melted SIM card. They salvaged enough to recover 4 audio files, muffled cries, Clara's voice terrified, and a man whispering, "You're mine. You'll always be mine." But whose voice was it? Marcus's? James's? Or someone else entirely? Without a body, without definitive proof, the case stalled. Marcus left town. James vanished too. Years passed. Hope faded. Clara Jennings became a name whispered on anniversaries. A face on a missing poster. A ghost. Until November 12, 2023. 60 miles away, at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, security footage captured a hooded woman limping inside. She didn't speak. She just left a note on the counter and disappeared into the night. That note read, "He said forever. I thought that meant I'd live. I was wrong. But I'm still here." It was signed, CJ. Was it her? Is Clara still out there? Who kept her hidden? And what really happened that night in Elmridge? The truth is out there, and we're only just beginning to uncover it. Stay with us, because the next chapter, it changes everything. She was gone for 4 years. No body, no answers, just echoes in the trees, and a grieving town with no closure. Clara Jennings, the girl who loved deeply and vanished quietly, without a trace. But then came the note. November 12, 2023. A woman stumbles into a gas station off Route 89, 58 miles from Elmridge. The footage is grainy, her face obscured by a hood. She limps, favoring her left leg. Her hands shake as she leaves a folded piece of paper on the counter. Then she's gone. Vanished again before anyone can stop her. That note changes everything. It reads, "He said forever. I thought that meant I'd live. I was wrong. But I'm still here." Signed, CJ. Handwriting experts confirmed it. The note was written by Clara Jennings. And suddenly, the case that had long gone cold burned white-hot again. Police swarmed the area. Bloodhounds, drones, roadblocks. But the woman had evaporated like mist. There were no fingerprints, no DNA, just the note and a whisper of survival. Investigators turned to the old farmhouse again, the one where her shredded sweater and blood were first found. But it was empty now, silent, a mausoleum of secrets. The mattress was gone, the restraints removed, and spray-painted across one cracked wall was a chilling message in red. Too late. Forensic teams uncovered new evidence. Scraps of a journal, buried beneath a rotting floorboard. Pages torn and weathered, written in Clara's hand. And what they revealed was worse than anyone imagined. She wrote of a man she trusted, someone who watched her before she even knew him, someone who smiled like a friend and hurt like a god, someone she called only by initials, MR. She wrote, "He said I belonged to him, that if I left, he'd destroy every part of me he ever touched. And when I tried to run, I learned what forever really meant." Police brought Marcus Reed back in for questioning. Now living in New Jersey, remarried, working under a new name. But with no body and no confession, there was still nothing they could charge him with. He denied everything. Cold, stone-faced, he said, "People see what they want to see." But maybe Clara didn't want to be found. And just like that, he walked free. Again. But Clara's journal hinted at something else. A location. 3 words scribbled over and over. Black Hollow Road. Place outside Elmridge. Off-grid. No signage. Forgotten. Locals said the land was cursed. That people who entered the woods there often didn't come back. So the search moved there. The trees stood like sentinels, thick, ancient, twisted. And in the middle of that forest, they found a bunker. Buried. Sealed. Hidden beneath a false rock and moss. This lock was rusted shut. Inside were chains of photographs. And clothing. Women's clothing. Not just Clara's. Other names, too. A ledger. Dates. Descriptions. And this phrase, etched into the concrete with a nail. "Love never leaves. It waits." And tucked into a metal box, water-damaged but intact, was a flash drive. What it contained changed everything. Hundreds of hours of video. Some of them, Clara. Others, women no one has identified. Some terrified. Others drugged. One crying out, "Please, Marcus. Please." Police began reviewing every second. But here's the thing. One of the final files, timestamped just 3 days before the gas station sighting, shows a figure walking through the woods. A woman, limping, alone. And she turns to the camera, just for a moment. It's Clara. She's alive. And she's watching them. And then, just before the footage ends, she whispers something. Barely audible. But forensic audio cleaned it up. She says, "You're not even close." As if someone else was involved. As if Marcus wasn't working alone. And then, the screen cuts to black. But that wasn't the end. 2 nights ago, someone left a voicemail on the Elmridge tip line. It was a woman, whispering, breathless. She said, "He isn't who you think he is. You're chasing a shadow. Look beneath the school." And then click. No trace. No number. No ID. But Clara once taught kindergarten in the basement level of Elmridge Elementary. That building was closed for renovations last year. Sealed now. But this morning, construction crews reported something strange. A foul smell rising from the walls. Police are tearing through the foundation as we speak. What they'll find underneath might reveal everything. Or it might be what finally buries the truth. Forever. The smell was unmistakable. Rot, earth, decay. rising from beneath Elmridge Elementary like something buried trying to breathe again. Police didn't hesitate. They tore through the concrete basement floor, jackhammers ringing out in a building that had once echoed only with children's laughter. Now, it held something darker, deeper. At 3:17 p.m., they reached it. A door. Metal. Rusted. Bolted shut from the inside. Shouldn't have been there. It wasn't on any blueprint. Behind it, stairs. Winding downward. Into black. The team descended. What they found didn't make sense. Tunnel. Crude. Carved into earth and rock. Stretching nearly 50 feet. And at the end, a room. Square. Silent. Lined with toys. Dolls. Drawings. Faded photos of Clara Jennings. Pinned to the wall like devotionals. And scrawled across every inch of the far side, in childlike handwriting. She said she was leaving. She lied. In the center of the room, a table. On it, a single cassette tape, labeled, "For Marcus." When investigators played it, the voice that came through wasn't Clara's. It was a man. Calm. Cold. Familiar. "She wasn't yours to keep, Marcus. She was a guest. You broke the rules. Now she's gone again." The voice matched one from the bunker videos. But it wasn't Marcus Reed. And it wasn't James Holloway. It was someone else. The third man. Someone unknown. Someone watching from the shadows. The audio ended with coordinates. Just 6 digits. Police traced them to an old hunting cabin 3 towns over, burned to the ground in 2007. Arson. No arrests made. But that land once belonged to a name the case hadn't touched until now. Elliot Vance. A former school counselor. Dismissed in 2012 for inappropriate behavior. Buried quietly by the district. No charges. No record. Just gone. Until now. Because that ledger in the bunker? The one listing women? Elliot Vance's handwriting matched the entries. 3 women. Dates. One marked with a single red X. C. J. Another name beneath it. G. Holloway. James's ex-wife. Police re-examined her death. Ruled suicide in 2018. But now doubt crept in. The bruises. The rope burns. The rushed autopsy. Suddenly, James wasn't just a grieving ex. He was a potential accomplice. Or another pawn. When they raided Vance's last known address, they found something that broke the case open. Clara's phone. Her real one. Hidden beneath floorboards. Wrapped in foil. Dead, but recoverable. And when forensic techs revived it, it contained dozens of unsent messages. All to one contact. Saved only as M. Messages like, "He knows where the room is. I saw him talking to the counselor. And I don't trust James. He's scared of Elliot." The timeline blurred. Motives tangled. Who had really taken Clara? Who held her? Who let her go? Was Marcus the jealous fiancé? Was James the silent enabler? Was Elliot Vance the true puppeteer? The case cracked wider when a delivery driver came forward. Said he'd been paid cash for months to drop off groceries at a storage unit off Route 7. He never saw anyone. Just a note left each week on the door. The name on the order? Clara Jennings. Inside the unit, a cot. Water. Books. Chains. Scratched into the wall. 147 tally marks. One for each week she was missing. And beneath them, a final message. "I stayed alive to be heard. Now they'll listen." But Clara hasn't been seen since. Not officially. Until yesterday. A hiker in Black Hollow Woods sent police a photo. A blurry image. Half shadow. Half light. A woman in a tattered coat, watching from behind a tree. Her eyes wide. Hollow. Alive. They believe it's Clara. And next to where the hiker stood, they found something new. A necklace. One she always wore. Inside the locket, a photo. Her and Marcus. Torn in half. His face scratched out. Hers untouched. And behind it, a SIM card. On it, a voicemail. Dated just 6 hours before the sighting. Her voice. Fragile. Cold. Determined. She says, "He wasn't the first. He won't be the last. But I have names now. All of them. She pauses, then whispers, "Look beneath the church." Elmridge has one church, St. Balthazar's, built in 1849, long abandoned, boarded shut for decades. Police are preparing to dig, and if Clara's right, what they uncover next won't just solve one case. It may expose a network, a secret far larger and far darker than anyone imagined. Because Clara Jennings was never just a missing person. She may be the only survivor of something bigger, something still alive. Follow for part 2 because the truth is about to be exposed.